Black Panther, an overrated film in the MCU? Let's talk about it. What's up guys, my name is Ryan, welcome to my channel if you are new here. So the time has come to watch and review Black Panther in our MCU series, and it is after I've watched the film, so let's just jump in and start talking about it. So when it comes to Black Panther, I think it's just another really solid entry in the MCU. We know that the MCU was on just such a creative hot streak heading into Infinity War. Pretty much every film leading up to it was just such high quality. It did a great job building up to Infinity War and laying the groundwork and doing all the setup, and Black Panther is no exception. However, this has always been a film that I've never gotten on the hype train for like a lot of people. I know a lot of people think that this is like one of the greatest MCU films. It's in like their top 10, and that's awesome if that's your opinion. But for me, pretty much everything about this film is good at best. There's nothing here really that really stands out to me that I thought was amazing. I know there's some things in this film that people would say are amazing, but for me, I just don't share that same opinion. I'm not saying Black Panther is a bad movie. I definitely do enjoy it. I think it's a good movie, but I don't think it's this great, one of the best MCU films like a lot of people do. This is another film that has pretty much everything the MCU does so well. It has a great cast. Chadwick Boseman as T'Challa, aka Black Panther, is great casting. It's so sad that we've lost him and we no longer have him as that character in the MCU. But what we got from him as this character was absolutely fantastic. I love Letitia Wright as T'Challa's sister Shuri. She's probably my favorite character in the film, honestly. I just really love her and T'Challa's relationship, their back and forth, and them making jokes about each other and teasing each other. It kind of reminds me of me and my sister. It's just like a classic, funny, fun sibling relationship. I just really enjoyed their relationship and their banter and the scenes with them together. And I love how Shuri's kind of like the head tech guru of Wakanda. Angela Bassett does a great job as Queen Ramonda, I believe her name is, T'Challa and Shuri's mother. And then I don't remember their names, but the actors who play M'Baku, Nakia, and Okoye, they all do a great job as well. Of course, we get Martin Freeman, Bilbo Baggins himself, as Agent Everett Ross, who is an ally of Black Panther in the comics. I'm glad they cast him in this role and had that character in this film. We also got Andy Serkis back as Claw. He does a really good job. And then, of course, the one everyone talks about, Michael B. Jordan as our villain, Killmonger. I know a lot of people think he's this, like, amazing villain, and I do agree that he's one of probably the best MCU villains, but I've never thought he was, like, this amazing villain, but I understand why a lot of other people do. There's a lot of truth to what he's doing and to what he's saying, and his motivation is really good, I think, and those are some of the best villains. The villains who have some truth to what they're doing and who have kind of noble aspirations behind what they're doing, but they just go about it in the completely wrong way and trying to fix what they want to fix and do what they want to do in just an evil, detestable way. I do really like Michael B. Jordan's performance and how he's kind of this mirror villain, and he has that kind of like gold Panther suit. I thought he was a good villain, but not great like a lot of people do. I'm sorry, but that's just my opinion. The film is also really funny. It's got that Marvel humor. It's got great standout action set pieces. I especially love the car chase when they come out of the nightclub and they're chasing after Claw. And Shuri has that technology. She's back in Wakanda and she has that technology that allows her to like take control of the car, and there's this like digital car that forms around her to make her actually feel like she's actually there. And that's another thing I really love about this film is the advanced technology. I love that Wakanda is this very advanced technological city, and I love the advanced technology we get in the film. I especially love T'Challa's suit that Shuri makes for him in this film that absorbs and releases kinetic energy. I think that's really, really cool. And just some of the other little gadgets in here I think just make for such a fun time with this movie. And I think this film has some pretty good messages that we can pull out of it. Of course, in the beginning, Nakia is talking to T'Challa about how she thinks that Wakanda needs to come out of hiding. You know, we see in the film that they're kind of like, the world thinks they're this kind of poor third world country of just farmers, but they actually have this big technologically advanced city, and it's hidden by like this technological force field that makes it look like it's just a big rock behind this little town so they can hide themselves from the world. But Nakia realizes they have such a gift with the advanced technology they have because their city is built on this big mound of vibranium. As we see in the beginning, this meteorite came crashing down onto Earth where Wakanda is now built, and it allows for them to build this super technologically advanced city, and that's what their city is powered by. It's what all their technology is powered by. And she thinks that they should be using that technology to help the world world and share what they've been given. I love how that's kind of the motivation behind Killmonger's character. He sees kind of how people are oppressed and they could really use Wakanda's technology, and he's trying to just disperse it throughout the world. And I love how come the end of this film, T'Challa decides to take down the barrier hiding Wakanda and be honest with the world finally. As we see throughout this film, he kind of is lying about how technologically advanced Wakanda actually is, and come the end of the film, he decides to be honest finally and decides to share vibranium with the world and share their resources. And of course, try to regulate it and be careful with it because they don't want the technology falling into the wrong hands. And I think that's a really good message about how we should kind of share what we've been given and share our gifts. We're going to look at the parable of the talents real quick in Matthew chapter 25, and there's a lot of other verses I could have pulled from in the Bible that talk about sharing our gifts and possessions and what we have, but I chose this passage to look at, so let's read it real quick. It's a bit long, but bear with me, guys. For the kingdom of heaven is like a man traveling to a far country who called his own servants and delivered his goods to them, and to one he gave 5 talents, to another 2, and to another 1, to each according to his own ability, and immediately he went on a journey. Then he who had received the 5 talents went and traded with them and made another 5 talents, and likewise he who had received 2 gained 2 more also. But he who had received 1 went and dug in the ground and hid his lord's money. After a long time the lord of those servants came and settled accounts with them. So he who had received 5 talents came and brought 5 other talents, saying, Lord, you delivered to me 5 talents. Look, I have gained 5 more talents besides them. His lord said to him, Well done, good and faithful servant. You were faithful over a few things. I will make you ruler over many things. Enter into the joy of your Lord. He also, who had received 2 talents, came and said, Lord, you delivered to me 2 talents. Look, I have gained 2 more talents besides them. His lord said to him, Well done, good and faithful servant. You have been faithful over a few things. I will make you ruler over many things. Enter into the joy of your Lord. Then he who had received the 1 talent came and said, Lord, I knew you to be a hard man, reaping where you have not sown, and gathering where you have not scattered seed. And I was afraid, and went and hid your talent in the ground. Look, there you have what is yours. But his lord answered and said to him, You wicked and lazy servant, you knew that I reap where I have not sown, and gather where I have not scattered seed. So you ought to have deposited my money with the bankers, and at my coming I would have received back my own with interest. So take the talent from him, and give it to him who has 10 talents. For to everyone who has, more will be given, and he will have abundance. But from him who does not have, even what he has will be taken away. And cast the unprofitable servant into the outer darkness. There will be weeping and gnashing of teeth. Wakanda has been gifted with such a great resource in vibranium that allows them to make such advanced technology that I think should be shared with the world. As we see in the film, Martin Freeman's character, Everett Ross, he suffers a back injury, and we're told that he might not ever be able to walk again, but he's taken back to Wakanda, where Shuri heals him and uses vibranium to help him be able to walk upright again. I think the Wakandans should share something like that with the world, not just keep it to themselves. Kind of like how the third servant didn't use what his master gave him to make more money, and he just kept it to himself. Now that parable of the talents is of course referring to the end times when Jesus will come back and he will separate the sheep from the goats, you know, those who followed him and those who did not follow him, and he will kind of ask everyone, how did you live your life for me? How did you use what I gave you? And there's multiple places in scripture, especially Paul in his epistles talks a lot about how we've been gifted spiritual gifts and we need to use those, and how everything we have, even our material possessions and our wealth, it all comes from God, and we need to be using our possessions and our resources and sharing them with other people and showing the love of Christ that way. And that's just what this movie reminds me of. We all have material possessions and wealth, and we have abilities and talents. We need to use those for the Lord. I've been gifted with musical talents and abilities, and I need to be using that for the Lord. And that's why me and a friend of mine are writing some original Christian songs that we hopefully plan to record soon. And the Wakandans have been gifted with this great resource that can really help people, and I think they should be sharing that and using that to help other people, not just keeping it to themselves. And we all one day are going to be held accountable for what we did with what the Lord gave us, with the gifts and possessions that he gave us. He's going to ask us, what did you do with what I gave you? How did you use what I gave you for me? And to help other people and to point other people to me. Proverbs 3:9 tells us to honor the Lord with our possessions, and scripture talks about how we need to be good stewards of what we've been given. And yes, the parable of the talents is talking about the end times, but it's also talking about how we need to be good stewards of what we've been given. So I just really like how this movie kind of communicated that message of how we need to use and share what we've been given to help others and not just keep it to ourselves. We need to share our gifts. Black Panther, a bit of an overrated film in the MCU, I think, but still a good film. A bit controversial, but I'm gonna give it a 7 out of 10 because I don't really have any problems with the film, really. It's just nothing really, like I said in the beginning, nothing really pops or stands out to me. I think is amazing. Everything, like the cast, the humor, the action, the messaging, I think everything is just good. But that's all I think I have to say about Black Panther. Thank y'all so much for watching this review. Leave a like if you enjoyed it and let me know in the comments below what you think of Black Panther. I would love to have a conversation with y'all about this film, and I hope y'all will stay tuned because y'all know what's next. It's Infinity War. So excited to talk about that film. Hopefully that review will be out within a week from when this video goes up. But if you enjoy my content, please subscribe right over here. Would so love and appreciate your support in helping me put more God-honoring Christian content out there. Right here's my previous MCU review for Thor Ragnarok. Would appreciate you checking that video out. And also right here is a playlist of all my MCU videos. If you want to watch some more MCU content from me, hopefully you can find another video in there to enjoy. And with that, y'all have a blessed one, guys. I'll see you on the next video.